Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to be here for another video, and this one is going to be a fun one because honestly, as an entrepreneur, I think all the time about the pros and cons. And obviously, because I spend all of my time being an entrepreneur, if you don't know, I own a 7-figure business all about diversity, equity, and inclusion and supporting companies with their DEI work. DEI meaning diversity, equity, and inclusion. I do that full time, and I've been doing it full time for 2.5 years, or a little over 2 years. And it has been such a wild ride. Not easy in the least, but also everything that I could have wanted. So when we think about the pros and cons, for me, obviously the pros outweighed the cons. But I thought it might be fun to do a video all about the highs and another video all about the lows, so that if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or if you're an entrepreneur just getting started and you're thinking about, wait a second, how great can this get? What are the upsides? What are the downsides? That's what this video is all about, although I am splitting it into 2 parts. So we're going to start with the upsides, and then I'll make another video all about the downsides. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Here are some of the upsides to being an entrepreneur. The first one I'll say is maybe one that's fairly obvious to you, because of course, lots of people go into entrepreneurship for this reason. You can work wherever you want. So as an entrepreneur, no one is telling you, unless the kind of work that you've chosen to do is about being in a particular place, no one has told you where to be at any time. So you can decide where you want to be. And that's something that has afforded a lot of entrepreneurs the freedom to travel while still making money, especially for those who have online businesses. And that's something that lots of people see as a true upside, being able to work from wherever they want. But of course, and I'll tell you as someone who supports companies now with all of their employee benefits and all of the things that they do to create a more inclusive environment, I'll tell you that a lot of companies that were once not remote are remote or are having a lot more flexibility than they did previously. So if the only reason why you want to be an entrepreneur is because you want to be able to work wherever you want, there are a lot of other options out there for you. That said, let's talk about one of the other benefits to being an entrepreneur. Time. You can decide not just where you work, but when you work. And that's something that really, really speaks to a lot of people. Perhaps there are people who have been able to get access to a remote job, but there are certain time frames when they have to be working, or maybe when they feel that they have to be working, especially if they have a manager, they have supervisors who are expecting them to either show up physically or show up virtually for a meeting or two, or for a chat via Slack or what have you. As an entrepreneur, you get to make your own hours, which is something that's pretty cool. Here's another upside, and this is one that I especially have come to appreciate. And I will say that it takes a little bit of time to get to this point, because if you're a solopreneur and you're the only one working for your business, you're by yourself. But the next upside I'll share about entrepreneurship is the ability to delegate. So what I love is I have a team. I have people that I can delegate some tasks to, especially the tasks that I know are not serving the business for me to do. I can remember having a short stint working for a large consulting firm, and during that time, I had to fill out things like timesheets and travel logs. And oh my goodness, that's not something I enjoy doing. So I appreciate that now I can hand off a lot of those tasks. And in fact, it's recommended that I hand off a lot of the tasks that I don't enjoy or that are honestly a waste of my time as a CEO, as a founder, as the business owner. I can hand those tasks off to someone else. And I love that. To me, that's one of the real benefits to being a business owner, that you have people, even if it's just a virtual assistant that you hire for 5 hours a week for like $300 a month. Truthfully, getting started with that kind of support is really helpful, and I'd say really important, and definitely one of the upsides. The fourth pro or upsides being an entrepreneur is the fact that you can really see the impact of your work. I know of so many people out there who work in jobs where they're working tirelessly and are not always seeing the work that they do have an impact on the outcomes of the business. And that is far from the case when you are the owner of the business. Everything you do, all of the decisions you make, the ways that you decide to structure the people around you and access resources, all of that is something that you can directly see the impact of in your work and in your time. So your business outcomes can really, really motivate you as you see the work that you do pay off, or the work that you don't do pay off, right? But that's for the other video. What's amazing about that, though, is that it's very clear that entrepreneurship is a way for you to be able to see that work come to fruition. And it's really gratifying when something you've really wanted pays off and works out and turns into some really amazing impact or service for your customers, your clients, and for the world. Okay, last benefit or pro or upside to being an entrepreneur. And of course, there's so many, right? I'm just giving you 5. But the last one I'll talk about is the fact that for many people, being an entrepreneur is a dream, right? And when you decide to go all in, or even as a side hustle, when you decide to really honor the part of you that has that desire to start a business and contribute your services, your products, your ideas to the world in the way that you do, you're following your dream. And I'd say that one of the biggest upsides to being an entrepreneur is that you're following that dream and you're conquering any fears that may have gotten in the way at any point in your journey. And there's something about that feels really good every time you push through. Even in the moments when, say, your business doesn't work out and you realize entrepreneurship isn't for you, there's something about the fact that you did it and that you followed that and that now you know how you really feel. That's powerful and that's awesome. And for me, it's something that consistently drives me, not just to continue to be an entrepreneur, but to support other people in their journeys as entrepreneurs. All right, those are the 5 upsides to being an entrepreneur, to starting your own business, to running your own business. And I'll see you in another video to talk about some of the downsides. Until then, thanks for hopping on to my channel. Make sure you subscribe and follow, and check me out on Instagram as well. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.